the worst ways, oh baby. It's a shame that we don't operate well, baby. Cause you're bad for my health. I swear you go to hell, take the L. I don't wanna see you swell no more. And you might be the death of me now, baby. But we don't want no harm.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Paula here. I look a little bit out of it. I do know that, but that's because it's morning. It's not that early, really, but I feel like I've been putting off this video. Today I'm gonna do one of the things that I told myself I was never gonna do on booktube, but I ended up caving because I have so many books left to read this month and I don't think I'm gonna be able to read them before June comes up. So I was like, okay, let's try and read them all. How? Well, with a 24-hour readathon. I'm not a fan of 24-hour readathons. Okay, that's a lie. I am a very big fan of watching people do 24-hour readathons. In reality, I love my sleep so much. I prioritize my sleep. So staying up 24 hours, I have not done that since my undergrad. And I only did that because my grades were at stake. So I had to do that. Right now, there's nothing at stake for me, which means I don't know if I'm gonna be able to stay awake for 24 hours. So I'm thinking I'm gonna read as much as I can today, but if I fall asleep, it's fine. It's fine. I'm the boss of me here. If I have to go to sleep, if I fall asleep, it's gonna be okay. I'll just resume the next day. I just want to kind of force myself to read because I did get out of my reading slump, but for some reason the books that I'm reading are not like doing it for me right now. But I did tell myself how to finish reading them because they're my physical TBR and they have been there for years at this point. So I'm gonna read it. I just need a little bit of discipline and I think this challenge is gonna give me the discipline. So yeah, I'm ready. Give me a second. Okay, so right now I have this idea that I'm gonna try and read as much of my May TBR as I can, but I do realize that most of my TBR for this month is quite heavy. So I do want to start with Billet because I did tell myself I had to finish it this month, so I will. The only issue is that it's a chunk. It's like 600 pages and I've barely read anything. So I will try to focus on these, but I know that 24 hours straight of reading a classic, not it. It's not it. So I do have other options for a more enjoyable time potentially. So I'm still reading Yellowface and I think this is a good idea for a 24-hour readathon because it's quite fast-paced. Like things keep happening, the main character keeps spiraling. So I think if I get bored or tired of the classic, I can go back to Yellowface. And then another one of the shorter books for this month's TBR is Georgie All Along, which is also a literary fiction with, I believe, a little bit of romance. It's short and usually literary fiction and romance I read quite fast, so this might be a good option for this readathon too. And then once it gets to like, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 a.m. and I'm out of it and I just want something easy, I have Frankenstein by Junji Ito. This is basically Mary Shelley's Frankenstein story, but it's illustrated by Junji Ito. And I've already read quite a lot of, I'm gonna say stories by Junji Ito because I've mostly read like short stories and Remina completely. So I am very excited to read this. I think it's gonna make for a great spooky read at night. Come on. Okay, so this is the current TBR. We'll see what I actually end up doing because I do have other books that I want to read this month. So maybe at some point I'm like, okay, let me try fantasy. And I would want to read fantasy. I don't know. We'll see. As of right now, I will definitely be starting with Billet. I am currently in page 67 and I've got my coffee with me. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the timer. I do want to say it. Again, it's not that early. I don't know why I'm so out of it. But yeah, it's 9:30 and I'm gonna put the timer for 24 hours. And then see if I fall asleep, we'll see. Honestly, it's gonna be a very chaotic, very laid back 24-hour readathon. But you know, I have to do it at least once in my life if I'm gonna be on booktube. Let's go to reading.
I really hate you, 'cause you made me so blue. And I promise to God I'll cut you off. But I really need you, and I really don't want to, yeah.
Okay, so it's been 2 hours. Yeah, have 22 hours left. I thought I could do a little update. I'm in page 155 of Billet, which is chapter 13. So I've read this much. It's gonna take me so long to finish this book. It's like 600 pages. Okay. Well, so my thoughts on Villette so far. I probably mentioned it in a different video. I do have a lot of the Bronte sisters books because I read Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte and I love that book. That book was one of my 5 stars last year. It's one of my favorite classics. So I started collecting Bronte sisters books. But I have not read any because for some reason I've just not been in the mood for classics. And this one, I got it way before I even got Jane Eyre. I think I asked my mom for this for Christmas because I saw somewhere a synopsis. I was like, you know what? I want to get into classics. Let me get this. Let me read it. Have not read it. I've had it for 2 years probably. I think I asked for it like Christmas 2021. So yeah, almost 3 years probably. I do have to say, and this happened with Jane Eyre too, I feel like people don't realize how funny classics are, or at least how funny Charlotte Bronte can be in her books, because sometimes there's just scenes of the books and you're just like, what just happened? Like I remember specifically with Jane Eyre, there was this one scene where the male main character dressed up as a woman just so he could get the gossip from the female main character. What? But yeah, she's funny. I love that. I feel like in this book, there's not so much like religion preach as in Jane Eyre. I feel like that's something that put me off a little bit in Jane Eyre, so there was a lot of like discussions on religion, even though it was not really discussion, it was just like a little bit of preaching mostly. In this one, there's not as much preaching, but there's a lot of mentions of the Bible. And I have never read the Bible. I've only read some passages of King James Bible because I had to study it for a class. So I've never actually fully read the Bible, and there's a lot of things in here that are referenced to the Bible and I just don't understand that much. But I have to say it's been quite enjoyable to read, to get back to a classic. I usually read them in the original English, but because I asked for this book in 2021 and I was very scared about reading in English, I got it in Spanish because I was also scared of classics in English. So I'm reading it in Spanish. The main difference is just that I know this is not the original text, but I don't think it's putting me out of the story at all. I admire translators so much, and this book specifically is translated by Marta Salis. So there's that. I'm excited to keep reading. I don't want to talk for too long because I have not stopped the timer. Does that count as cheating? I cannot be bothered. I have been reading for 2 hours and I'm already slightly dead. Yeah, so as I have 22 hours, let me just spend like 3 minutes out of those 22 hours to talk to you. I think I might... What time is it? Okay, it's 11:30. I think I might read half an hour more in bed and then very quickly just change and move to a different location just so I'm not like cooped up in my bedroom for the entirety of this video. We'll see. I think I'm gonna keep reading for at least half an hour.
No, there's no more saving face. You gon' pay with pain. I just taste the fame and all my fans, they hate your name. You can't meet me in the next life and the next one again. 'Cause I really hate you. 'Cause you made me so blue.
So it's 1:20, well 1:19, and it's been 4 hours. I have 20 hours left, so I thought let's do another update. I've reached page 225 of Billet and I am in the second book now. I forgot that there were more than one book, so you have like first book and then second book. So I'm in the book number 2 and I am enjoying it so far. I feel like since the last update 2 hours ago, we've gotten a little bit more of the romantic mystery kind of that there is in this book. Our main character is most definitely an observer. Like, absolutely nothing is happening to her, really. She's just telling what everyone else is experiencing, like the love affairs that the students are having. So, you know, that's interesting. But also, she's kind of like in the middle of the little mystery somehow, because she knows everything. Again, some funny moments, because they don't surprise me, but I feel like when you think of classics, you think of very, you know, intimidating literature, and you don't realize actually how funny they can be and how ruthless some writers are. So yeah, Lucy Snow, which is our main character, she might not be the most interesting character ever, but whenever she like makes fun of people, that's just so much fun. It is very funny. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm doing. I do need to go and make lunch now. So since it's not very hands-in like food, I think I'm just gonna keep reading while I cook, because I just need to be, you know, looking at the stuff. But then I'm thinking I will probably pause the clock for the time that I'm eating, because I will not be eating and reading at the same time, because I'm gonna be having lunch with my dad, and that's just disrespectful. That's just kind of rude. So I will stop the clock then, and then start running it again once I finish lunch and I can go back to my book. It's been 4 hours. I'm not too tired yet, but also it's not even like 2 p.m. We'll see how I feel later. I do think if at some point this is being too much for me, I will switch to a different book. I'm gonna go cook now. See you later. Okay. Okay, so it's 6 p.m. I've officially read for 8 hours. I got 16 left. I am already tired of reading. I have to say, I thought I read way more during the day than I actually do, because it's been 8 hours and I am dying. Like, my eyes. Yeah, so I have read quite a big chunk of Villette. I'm in page 367. I think the last time I talked to you guys was after 4 hours of reading. After that, I made lunch and had lunch. I did stop the clock for the time that I was eating, so it was probably like half an hour or so, and then I started it again once I was ready to continue reading. About the book, a lot of ableist comments. Was not expecting that, but it somehow makes sense that they're there. I would not expect an author from this time to not be more careful with that. So if you don't usually like reading books with those comments, maybe don't read this. I don't remember if there were any like this in Jane Eyre. I feel like Jane Eyre obviously talked a lot about religion. It was preaching religion, to be honest. And in this one, it does a little bit, but it also uses like religion to somehow as a moral compass for how to treat like lesser than people. This is where the ableism comes in. But yeah, also a lot of like Catholicism versus Protestantism. I think that's how you say it. You know, English is not my first language, so that's fine. But yeah, Miss Girly is just hating on Catholics, which, okay, I was just not expecting it. And also, I feel like the references to the Bible or other works have just kept increasing, which is kind of annoying to read, at least for me, because I've never read the Bible, and I've never read most of the things that are referenced in this book. So whenever there's like a big paragraph explaining something and then referencing, you know, the Bible, I'm like, I understand the sentiment, I actually do not know what this reference is. So obviously that is my fault. I'm just probably not the intended audience for that. I don't know if I said it, but I'm in chapter 25, and I think it's past half point. This is what I've read, which makes me excited. Some characters that we saw right at the beginning of this book that I didn't think they were important. I just thought they were gonna give context to the main character's childhood. They actually came back at this point of the book, so we're having like reunions and meetups again with those characters. That's very interesting, and seeing how they changed and how they didn't change. I feel like the most recent books that I've been reading have dealt a lot with female main characters feeling like they're not enough or they are not worthy of love and being very self-deprecating, including this one. So I don't know if I just don't know if I'm navigating towards those themes, but it just seems to be like a common thing in my last like what 4 reads, including this one. Should I be worried? I don't know. I think I'm gonna try my best to finish this book today, at least during the day, and then once it starts getting late I can pick up my more, you know, easier reads. So I think I'm gonna do that. Let's see if I can finish this before, I don't know, maybe 10 p.m. in 4 hours. I might need another 8 to finish this, not gonna lie. Okay, I think I'm just gonna read this until probably like 10 and then switch. I also don't want to make this video a whole vlog on me just reading Billet. It just happens that I'm very slow reading classics and that this is a 600-page classic. Yeah, so let's go and keep reading. God, I'm tired.
You off, but really I'm just passing the time. If you let me up in the middle of the night, you know I'm
Hi there. I should probably get a better tripod because right now it's kind of like, that's fine, it's fine. Hello, welcome to my kitchen. It's been 12 hours. It's almost 10 p.m. I am halfway done. Oh god, just halfway. Yeah, you know, this is why I was so apprehensive to start this. I'm not good at staying up late. So it's 10 p.m, which means I'll probably have dinner in like half an hour, but I wanted to get some snacks and I wanted to tell you about Billet. Have I finished it? No. No, I think it's been 4 hours since the last update. I am now in page 517, which is chapter 35. I am so close. I have like 120 pages left. I feel like I realized to this challenge how slow I actually read. Or maybe it's just because this is a classic and it's in Spanish. I don't know. The plot moved. We're learning a little bit more about Lucy and like her interactions with certain professor in her school. I don't like the professor. God, I don't like him. I truly dislike him. I would even say I hate him. What? I'm sorry. He just sounds like a genuine asshole. So I'm just confused as to why this girl is like kind of into him. I'm not sure even if she's like that into him, because like she will go off on him. She'll be like, he's a monster, he's so despicable, I hate him. And then she'll be like, well, but he has good qualities. If that is not being the Lulu, I don't know what is. So yeah, that's my update on this book. Hopefully I said I will finish it by 10. That was a lie. Hopefully I'll finish it before, you know what, at some point. I'll finish it at some point. We'll see. As of right now, I'm not too tired of it. Like, I can still read it. Okay, so it's midnight right now. I've got 10 hours left, which means I've done 14 hours of reading. So remember the part of this video where I repeatedly said I was gonna stay up until as long as I could? Midnight is my limit. No, but for real, it turns out that I have a very last minute errand to run tomorrow early in the morning. And I'm not gonna do myself the disservice of not going to sleep and then having to go run that errand. Because I'm meeting people and, you know, I don't need to look completely sleep deprived and I don't need to drive sleep deprived. So midnight today, it's gonna be it. And hopefully tomorrow I can read the last 10 hours. Let me give you a quick update. It's going. It got very interesting and then right now it's just so boring. Mostly because there's just a lot of discussion about religion. If that's what you like, go ahead. It's just I don't have any interest in it, especially not this type of religion discourse. I feel like I'm always up to talking about religion, but this specific type of discourse, I just don't like it. So it's very boring. It's very heavy in its topic. Like, it just, wow, it feels like someone's putting more weight and more weight on me. It's just very hard, especially since I am tired. I have never read for so, like, straight for so long. Like, I've been reading for 14 hours straight. I have not, like, I only had like a 30-minute break to eat. I feel like even if you love reading, even if it's your favorite hobby, I personally just cannot do it straight for so long. Everything is good in moderation, and I feel like I just need to take breaks. And today I didn't take any, so I will do the rest of the challenge tomorrow. It's still gonna be what I read in 24 hours because I'm gonna stop the timer while I'm going to sleep. I really wanted to pull a no-nighter, but I'm not that old, but I'm too old for that. So yeah, I will see you tomorrow morning and see if I can finally finish Villette, because this 600-page chunk needs to be done by tomorrow. I'm currently in page 599. Yeah, I probably have around 50 pages left, so it's gonna be read tomorrow. Welcome to my kitchen. It's the next day. I'm already kind of running late. It's 10:18. I'm supposed to leave at 10:30. It happens. I was ready. I did wake up around 9, and then I started the timer again, and I read for like an hour, and guess what? I finished Villette. Okay, I just wanted to give a quick update that I finished it. I'm not gonna share thoughts because, as I said, I'm running late and I don't want this update to be very long. So hopefully once I'm back home, maybe in an hour, I will start Frankenstein, illustrated by Junji though, because I'm very excited to start that one. But yeah, one book down after 15 hours. The fact that it took me 15 hours to finish that book says a lot about the book, I think. Anyway, see you after I come back. Okay, so I am back. It's 11:38, which means I was out for an hour, which is good. I was hoping it would be an hour only. But yeah, I came back from doing my errands, and guess what I found in my mail? Okay, I know this is a 24-hour readathon, and we're gonna go back to that, but I really want to open this. And it's kind of bookish, so I'm gonna show you. So there's this artist online. I think her name is Sibyline. Don't quote me on that. I have no clue how to pronounce her name, but I'll probably leave it somewhere here. I love her. She's amazing. Amazing artist. I think she's from France. The thing though is she never has her store open. She only opens it like for maybe a day every couple of months. So it's very hard to get her artwork. But this time I was prepared. I actually had a notification for when her store went up. And I did miss some of the things that I wanted, but I got some stuff and I'm so excited. She generally is such a great artist. Oh my god, that is so... Oh, okay. So this is how it looks like. Oh my god. Oh, everything is recyclable. Okay, but look at this. Oh, that's so cute. Okay, that's beautiful. So I got an extra piece of art. It's not a piece of art, but it is a piece of art. Look at it, it's so pretty. Anyway, so what I got is I got a sticker and a print, because her prints are just beautiful, and her stickers too, and I wanted a sticker for when I change my Kindle setup. So this is the sticker. That is so pretty! Oh my god. Okay, and then this is the bookish part. This is a print that she did of Pride and Prejudice. Oh my god! I'm sorry, it's beautiful. Okay, so now I have to find a place where to put it, but I am so excited. So excited. I will leave her account somewhere, because honestly, more people need to support her because she's amazing. Back to the 24-hour readathon. Sorry for that mini unboxing thing. But yeah, I finished early this morning before I left the house, Villette. And I am now gonna read Junji Ito's Frankenstein because I just feel like a little change of what I've been reading. So I think a graphic novel slash manga will be the perfect thing to read. So yeah, let's go back to the 24-hour readathon.
No, there's no more saving face. You're gonna pay with pain. I just taste the fame and all my fans, they hate your name. You can hate me in the next life, the next one again. 'Cause I really hate you.
It's 12:30. I have 8 hours left, which means I read for 16 hours. And I just finished Junji Ito's Frankenstein. I have to say, okay, so Frankenstein is one of my favorite classics. Obviously, it's such an important piece of literature. I think I read it 2 or 3 times. I really, really like it. I first read it when I was in high school, did not understand anything, didn't like it. And then once I was in college, I loved it. So I thought that this was gonna be like just an illustrated version of Frankenstein. Like there were no changes or anything. It was just like the book illustrated. And it was, except for like the last part of it. Maybe like there's like 20 pages and there's like a random storyline in which Frankenstein actually does make his monster a bride, and like he finishes her and gives her life, which was definitely not on the original Frankenstein. So yeah, some parts in the end were slightly different, but the conclusion is definitely the same. And yeah, I really liked it. I feel like when I think of Frankenstein's monster, I don't feel that scared because at least the portrayal in media is not as gruesome as it definitely can be, especially given that it's a body made of corpses. But Junji Ito, of course, did amazing at portraying how utterly disgusting and hideous this monster is. Like, look at that. Yeah, no, that's... like, look at how scary this is. Yeah, so maybe I'm glad that I didn't read this at night. I mean, the vibes would definitely be there, but yeah, the images can be a little bit gory. But yeah, I finished my second book of the readathon. Now I think I'm gonna start Georgie All Along because I'm feeling something a little bit more romantic. This is Georgie All Along, and I feel like it's not that long, genuinely. It's 300 pages or so, so I feel like I could finish it in like 5 or 6 hours. Well, I don't know, because also it took me, what, 15 to read Villette, so we'll see. But yeah, this is actually an art. I'm a bit late to reading it because it's been out for like over a year and a half. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I haven't heard the greatest things about it, but you know, taste is always subjective, so we'll see if I like this.
No, there's no more saving face. You're gonna pay with pain. I just taste the fame and all my fans, they hate you.
I started Georgie All Along and I didn't realize the time. So it's currently 3 p.m. I've been reading for... I don't remember, but I have 5 hours 37 minutes left of the 24-hour readathon. It's very interesting. Okay, I guess interesting is not the word. It's fun to read. It's one of those like easygoing type of books where you don't have to think much, but there's still a little bit more of a somewhat depth. It's not just a romance. But I'm in page 113, chapter 9. The word I'm gonna use right now is like instalovi for sure. So that's not something that I like that much, but again, I'm just trying to read something easygoing and nice before going into either a very heavy nonfiction or a very long fantasy. So I feel like I need an in-between, and it's doing it. So I am gonna go make lunch now because it's 3 and I haven't eaten. So yeah, I'll probably stop the clock while I'm eating and then come back and keep reading Your You Alone.
No, there's no more saving face. You gon' pay with pain. I just taste the fame and all my fans, they hate your name. You can't leave me in the next life, the next one again. 'Cause
Okay, so it's been a couple of days. I needed to recover from that 24-hour readathon. Now, I know that I didn't read for 24 hours straight. I had to take a good night's sleep in between because, again, sleeping is very important for me. I ended up having some unexpected errands to run to, so still, I did read for 24 hours, which is honestly more than I usually read. Like, I thought I read a lot every day, but having to read for like 12 hours straight on the same day, it kind of killed me a little bit. But yeah, I thought I would pop in with the results of the readathon. I ended up reading 3 books. Let's talk very quickly about them. The first book that I read that it took me like around 15 hours to read was Villette by Charlotte Bronte. This specific copy is a Spanish translation, and it's translated by Marta Salis. I am very, very excited that I finally read Villette because this has been on my shelves since 2021. So that is definitely very exciting. I do have to say I enjoy Jane Eyre better than Villette. I felt like in Villette there was way more religion talking than in Jane Eyre. I felt like it was present in Jane Eyre and it was again a lot of preaching religion, but I just feel like at the end of this book it was just like unhinged. Like, I'm pretty sure there was one whole chapter about providence and God, and that's completely okay if that's what you are into, if that's what you enjoy reading. For me, it just felt like too much. Also, there's a lot of references to the Bible. Again, as someone who has not read the Bible, I did not understand it, and honestly, it definitely affected to my enjoyment of this book just because it's just not something that I enjoy reading. Also, there was definitely some stuff that I feel like would not be appropriate for an author to write in this age. Obviously, it's something that was appropriate back then, but it's definitely not now, and I cannot stand behind the ableism of this book. Even though it just popped up in some parts, it was iffy. I did not really like it that much. But in general, this was fun. It reminded me a little bit of Emma by Jane Austen, but only in the fact of, basically at the beginning it felt like it was not about the main character's romance, it was mostly about other people's romance. So that's kind of what the vibe is. And then at the end, we do know this part love story. The end crushed me. I was so sad about it. Because what do you mean we went through 600 pages of this for it to end up like that? Also did not like the main male character either. So there's that. I do think that I appreciated the writing a lot. And because of that, I am very, very not sure about what to rate this. So I'll sit on it for my wrap up. So yeah, that was Villette by Charlotte Bronte. Now the second book that I read was Frankenstein, illustrated by Junji Ito. I love Junji Ito. It's so much fun to see his illustrations. Yes, they're creepy, they're very gory, but I just like horror manga and I love Junji Ito. Frankenstein is also one of my favorite classics, so this was just a whole book that I knew I was gonna enjoy, and I did. It was a great book. Also, there were some changes. Like, I feel like only one scene was slightly changed that did not alter the story in any way really, but made it more spooky. So I really like that. I was a little bit shocked while reading it, but yeah, honestly, 5 stars for Frankenstein, illustrated by Junji Ito. And then the last book I read, probably in the last 8 hours. Yeah, I feel like I realized how slow I actually read in this challenge, but oh well. And that was Georgie All Along by Kate Claiborne. Now this is an arc. I got it in 2022 and I was very excited. This is my first arc ever, but I didn't read it because I kept hearing not great things about it. Not necessarily any in-depth review, just people rating it quite low. I'm not saying it was great, so I was like, oh. So that's why I didn't pick it up for so long, but I am forcing myself to read all of my books in physical TBR, and this is one. I have to say, I thought this was way more of a literary fiction book than a romance. I think it's the other way around. This is a romance. It has bits of literary fiction, only in like the whole discovery of oneself of the main character, but definitely a romance. It had like dual POV, so it was narrated by Georgie and then by her love interest. But yeah, honestly, not much to say. I feel like I enjoyed the romance. It was cute. It was very, very cute. Like, Levi adored his character. It was just very cute. I don't have much to say. There was not that much depth. I feel like the author tried to give it depth with the whole trying to discover herself vibe of this book. But the way that she did it, or how it ended, just did not work for me. I felt like there was something missing, like it was completely unfinished for some reason. And also a big part of the plot of this book is that she discovers a notebook that she had in high school with a lot of plans she wanted to do. And she finds it again and she's like, okay, let me recreate them. And it ended up feeling more like something for the two main characters to bond over rather than something that actually helped in her discovery journey. So, you know, I think I'm gonna give it a 3.5, and only because I really like the romance. The romance was very, very cute and I ate it up. I ate it up. So yeah, these are all of the books that I read in my 24-hour readathon. Please let me know if you read faster than that. I feel like this is a good chunk to read in 24 hours, especially since this book is like 600. But I keep seeing like people read like 6 books in 24 hours. Good for them. I'm happy for them. It's not me. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you've stayed until the end, thank you so much. Please like, comment, and subscribe. That would definitely make my day. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.
If not, I might cry.